The quiet of deep space was broken by a series of urgent beeps on the bridge of the UES Thunderbolt. Captain Ta-Jin Park sat up straighter in his command chair, his dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The massive battleship, pride of Earth's defense fleet, had been patrolling the outer colonies when the distress signal came in. "Captain, we're picking up an emergency broadcast from Research Station Beta 7. Commander Jae-won Lee reported from her station. Her fingers moved quickly across the holographic display. They'd gone silent mid-transmission. Tai-Jin frowned. Beta 7 was one of their most secure facilities, researching new drive technologies. "Play the last message," he ordered. A scratchy voice filled the bridge. "This is Beta 7. Unknown vessel appeared, not responding to hails. They're breaking through our..." The message ended in static. "Plot a course to Beta 7. Ta-Jin commanded. Maximum speed." The Thunderbolt's engines roared to life. At nearly 2 kilometers long, the battleship was a sight to behold, its dark hull covered in point defense turrets and heavy armor plates. Most civilians called it overkill. Ta-Jin called it being prepared. "Sir," Jae-won's voice was tense. "I'm detecting unusual energy readings near the station. Nothing matches our database." Tai-Jin stood up and walked to the tactical display. The hologram showed a large vessel hovering near Beta 7. Its design was completely alien. All smooth curves and glowing sections, unlike the practical human ships with their angular armor. "Life signs on the station?" he asked. "Faint readings. Most of the crew appears to be in the emergency bunkers," Jae-won replied. "The unknown ship is. They're drilling into the station's hull." The Thunderbolt dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Beta 7. The alien ship came into clear view. It was beautiful in a strange way, but its actions were anything but peaceful. Energy beams from the vessel were cutting into the research station's outer walls. "Open a channel," Ta-Jin ordered. "All frequencies." The communications officer tried multiple times, but there was no response. Instead, the alien vessel turned its scanning beams toward the Thunderbolt. "They're attempting to probe our systems," Jae-won reported. "Our shields are holding." "Wait, Captain." They seemed surprised. Their scanning beams just intensified by 300%. Tai-Jin allowed himself a small smile. Human ships were built differently from anything else in known space. While other species focused on energy shields, humanity had developed a mix of energy and physical defenses that made their ships nearly impenetrable. "Send them a warning shot," Ta-Jin ordered, "across their bow. Let's show them we mean business." A single rail gun round, a chunk of metal accelerated to near-light speed, flashed past the alien vessel. The effect was immediate. The alien ship's beautiful lights flickered in what seemed like shock. "Sir, they're charging weapons," Jae-won called out. "All hands to battle stations." Ta-Jin's voice remained calm. "Looks like we're about to give them their first lesson in human warfare." Red alert klaxons blared throughout the Thunderbolt as crew members rushed to their posts. The alien ship, still seemingly confused by its inability to scan the human vessel properly, held its position between the Thunderbolt and the damaged research station. "One last chance," Ta-Jin muttered. "Open a channel again. Send in all known languages. This is Captain Ta-Jin Park of the United Earth ship Thunderbolt. Stand down and withdraw from the human facility, or we will be forced to respond with appropriate force." The alien ship's only response was to power up its weapons fully. "Very well." Ta-Jin sat back in his chair, his expression grim but determined. "Let's show them why you don't mess with human colonies." Chief Engineer Han-Sol Kim was in his element, surrounded by the humming engines of the UES Thunderbolt. He stood at his main control station as alerts flashed across his screens. The alien ship was trying to scan them again, this time with even stronger beams. "They just don't get it, do they?" Han-Sol said to himself, watching the scan beams bounce harmlessly off the ship's outer layer. He grabbed his tablet and called the bridge. "Captain, you need to see this data." On the bridge, Captain Ta Jin received the information. The alien scans were becoming desperate, almost frantic. Each time they failed, the aliens tried a different frequency, a new approach. Nothing worked. "Sir," Commander Jai-1 reported, "I'm intercepting their communications. They seem confused. Their scanning technology should be working, but they can't see through our hull." The reason was simple, but brilliant. While most alien races relied on pure energy shields, humans had learned from their violent past. The Thunderbolt's hull was made of layers. Traditional armor, smart metals, energy-absorbing materials, and tiny gaps filled with special gases. No scan could get a clear picture of what lay beneath. "Captain," Han Solo's voice came through again. "They're trying to hack our computers now, but they won't get far. They don't understand our technology." Human computers were different. After centuries of fighting computer viruses and hackers, Earth's systems had evolved. They weren't just digital. They used a mix of electronic, optical, and even biological components. It was messy, complicated, and impossible for aliens to understand. The alien ship fired its first shot, a bright beam of energy that the Thunderbolt's outer layer simply absorbed. Lieutenant Du Yun Kang, at weapons control, couldn't help but laugh. "They're shooting light at a mirror, basically," she said, watching the energy readings. "Should we show them how we do things?" Captain Ta Jin held up his hand. "Not yet. Let them learn." The alien vessel, which they now knew belonged to the Meridian Collective, tried different weapons. Energy beams, plasma balls, and even some kind of wave that was supposed to shut down electronic systems. The Thunderbolt took it all. Han Solo's voice came through again, excited this time. "Captain, I've analyzed their attack pattern. They're using textbook moves, the kind you'd use against ships with standard shields. They think we're just a primitive species with copied technology." On the bridge screen, they could see the alien ship's beautiful lights flickering in what seemed like frustration. Its attacks were getting stronger but less coordinated. "Sir," Jai-1 said, "they're broadcasting to their command. Translating now. They're saying we must have stolen our technology. They don't believe we built this ship ourselves." Tai Jin smiled. This was common. Many alien races thought humans were too young, too primitive to be a real threat. They didn't understand that humanity's greatest strength was its creativity, born from centuries of conflict and competition. "Their weapons are at 90% power now," Du Yun reported. "They're burning through their energy trying to crack our defenses." Han Solo's readings showed the same thing. Every shot the aliens fired was either absorbed or deflected, adding to the Thunderbolt's power reserves. Human engineering at its finest, turning an enemy's strength against them. "Captain," Jai-1 looked up from her station. "They're calling for reinforcements. 3 more ships are on their way." Tai Jin nodded calmly. "Good. More witnesses for what happens when you underestimate humanity. Han Solo, power up all systems. Du Yun, prepare a full weapons display. Let's give our new friends a proper introduction to human battle tactics." The Thunderbolt's engines glowed brighter, and deep within the ship, weapon systems began to warm up. The aliens were about to learn that humanity's reputation for warfare was well earned. Sun Mai Choi stood ready at her tactical station as 3 more Meridian ships appeared from hyperspace. Their sleek forms joined the first ship, surrounding the Thunderbolt in a diamond pattern. The aliens clearly thought numbers would win this fight. 4 against 1, Captain Ta Jin said calmly. "Hardly seems fair." He paused. "For them." The first alien ship had already wasted much of its energy trying to break through the Thunderbolt's defenses. The new arrivals began their own scans, probably not believing the reports they had received about the strange human ship. "All enemy ships are charging weapons," Sun Mai reported. Her fingers moved quickly across her control panel. "They're coordinating their attack." Captain Ta Jin nodded. "Time to show them what we can do." Sun Mai, activate all point defense systems. Du Yun, prepare main batteries. The Thunderbolt's outer hull seemed to come alive. Hundreds of small turrets emerged from hidden ports. Larger weapon systems powered up, giving off a deep hum that ran through the whole ship. The aliens paused their attack, clearly surprised by the sudden transformation. "They're transmitting again," Commander Jai-1 said. "The message reads, 'Primitive vessel, your defensive tricks will not save you. Surrender now.'" "Let's answer them properly," Ta-Jin replied. "Sun-Me, give them a taste of our point defense system." Sun-Me's hands flew across her controls. The Thunderbolt's small turrets sprang into action, firing thousands of tiny projectiles. These weren't simple bullets. Each one was guided, powered by tiny engines, and could think for itself. The space around the ship filled with lightning-fast trails as the projectiles danced between the alien vessels. They didn't hit anything. They weren't meant to. This was just a demonstration. "Enemy ships are backing away," Sun-Me reported with a smile. "Their energy shields are at maximum." The aliens recovered quickly and launched their attack. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and exotic particles all streaked toward the Thunderbolt. It was an impressive display of alien firepower. "Brace for impact," Ta-Jin ordered calmly. But there was no impact to brace for. The Thunderbolt's point defense system went to work for real this time. Those same small projectiles intercepted every single alien shot, creating a beautiful display of explosions well away from the ship's hull. "Impossible," came the alien transmission. "No species has this level of defensive capability." "Du-Yun," Ta-Jin said, "show them why we don't need it. Target their weapons only." Lieutenant Du-Yun Kang had been waiting for this moment. The Thunderbolt's main guns moved with precision. These weren't energy weapons. They were advanced railguns, firing specially designed shells at near-light speed. 4 shots. 4 hits. The alien ship's main weapon arrays exploded in perfectly controlled detonations. "All enemy weapons disabled," Du-Yun reported proudly. "No other damage to their ships. Perfect shots, if I do say so myself." The alien ships floated in space, their beautiful lights now dimmed. Their shields were still up, but it didn't matter. In less than a minute, the Thunderbolt had disabled their offensive capabilities without causing serious harm. "Send them a message," Ta-Jin ordered. "Tell them, this demonstration is over. The next time you attack a human facility, we won't be so gentle. Now shall we discuss why you were attacking our research station?" The bridge crew watched as the alien ship's lights flickered in what they now recognized as their version of nervous communication. The Meridians had just learned a valuable lesson about humanity. Sometimes the species that looks primitive is the one you should fear most. "Sir," Jai-1 reported, "they're asking to open diplomatic channels." Ta-Jin smiled. "Now that's a much better approach. Let's teach them about talking before shooting." Communications officer Mina Ryu sat at her station, her eyes fixed on the streams of alien data flowing across her screen. After the battle, the Meridian ships had started sending huge amounts of information. Their messages were a mix of apologies, questions, and what seemed like confusion. "Captain," Mina called out, "I think you should see this. Their language is complex, but I'm starting to understand their thought process." Captain Ta-Jin walked over to her station. The translated messages painted an interesting picture. The Meridians had been watching Earth for decades, but they had gotten everything wrong. They thought our cities were primitive because they're not all shiny and curved like theirs. Mina explained. They saw our different building styles and thought we couldn't agree on how to build things. They didn't realize we just like variety. Security Chief Jun-Ho Baek stepped onto the bridge, carrying his tablet. "Sir, I've analyzed their data about Earth. These aliens have been watching us from far away, but they never got close enough to really understand us." Jun-Ho pulled up images on the main screen. The Meridians had taken pictures of Earth's cities, ships, and technology, but they had misunderstood everything they saw. "Look at this," Jun-Ho pointed. "They saw our old buildings next to new ones and thought we couldn't advance. They didn't understand we keep old buildings because we value our history. More translations came in from Minna. The Meridians are saying they attacked the research station because they thought we had stolen alien technology. They couldn't believe we developed our tech ourselves because it was so different from theirs. Captain Ta Jin shook his head. They made the classic mistake. They thought different meant primitive. Commander Jaewon, who had been quiet, spoke up. Sir, they're asking how we developed our technology. They don't understand why our ships don't look like theirs. Tell them the truth, Ta Jin said. Tell them about human history, about how we learn to build things by trying, failing, and trying again. How we keep old ideas that work alongside new ones. Minna began transmitting the message. She told the Meridians about Earth's many cultures, each bringing their own ideas. She explained how humans learned from their mistakes and kept improving. They're responding, Minna said after a while. They say they've never met a species that developed like we did. Most races they know copy each other's technology. We're the first they've met who made everything our own way. Jun-Ho pulled up more data. Look at their society, Captain. The Meridians all build the same way, think the same way. They thought that was normal. Meeting us has shocked them. On the main screen, they could see the alien ship's lights changing color, showing their changing emotions. The Meridians were learning that their view of the universe had been too simple. They're asking permission to send representatives to talk, Minna reported. They want to learn about us properly this time, not just watch from far away. Captain Ta Jin smiled. Tell them we accept. But first, tell them to look at Earth again. Really look this time. Tell them to see how our differences make us stronger. As Minna sent the message, the bridge crew watched the alien ships. Their lights had changed from the angry reds of battle to softer blues and greens of peaceful communication. Sometimes, Ta Jin said to his crew, the best way to make friends is to show them they were wrong about you. The Meridians came here thinking we were primitive. They'll leave knowing that humanity is far more complex than they imagined. The lesson had been learned. The Meridians had discovered that judging a species by their own standards was a dangerous mistake, especially when that species was humanity. The peaceful moment on the Thunderbolt's bridge was broken by urgent beeps from the sensor station. Commander Ji-won's eyes widened as she read the incoming data. Captain, multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace. She called out. Much bigger than the ones we faced before. Through the main viewport, massive ships appeared. They were 3 times the size of the first Meridian vessels, their hulls gleaming with the same curved designs, but bristling with weapons. Leading them was an especially large ship with deep purple markings. Message coming in, Minna reported from her communication station. It's from Ta He-yang. She's the sister commander of the first ship we disabled. Captain Ta Jin remained calm in his chair, put her message on screen. A stern alien face appeared. The Meridian commander's skin had a slight blue tint, and patterns of light moved across her face as she spoke. Human vessel, she said through the translator. You have humiliated my brother's ships. This cannot stand. Your brother attacked a peaceful research station. Ta Jin replied simply. We defended our people. The alien commander's lights flashed red. You disabled 4 of our ships. No species has ever done this. You must have help from our enemies. Around the Thunderbolt, the new Meridian ships moved into attack positions. Their weapons charged, creating beautiful but deadly patterns of light across their hulls. Last chance, humans, Tai He announced. Surrender your ship for inspection, or we will destroy you. Captain Ta Jin looked at his crew. Each one nodded, ready for what was coming. Lieutenant Du Yen, show them our full arsenal. All of it. Do Yen's fingers flew across her console with practiced speed. The Thunderbolt transformed before the alien's eyes. Not just the point defense turrets this time. Everything came online. Hidden panels across the ship's hull slid open. Rail gun batteries emerged. Missile pods appeared. special weapons that the aliens had never seen before raised into position. The Thunderbolt didn't just look armed, it looked like a floating fortress. By the stars came Tahi's voice, her confidence wavering. "What are you?" "We are human," Tajin answered. "We build everything we have. We learn from every fight. And we never start a war, but we finish them." The alien ship's lights flickered uncertainly. Their sensors were going crazy trying to understand the Thunderbolt's weapons. Nothing matched their database. "Sir," Sun Mai reported from Tactical, "I have targeting solutions on all their ships. We can disable their weapons just like the others." But before Tajin could give the order, Jai-1 called out, "Captain, the disabled Meridian ships, they're sending data to their commander. They're showing her what happened in the battle." On the screen, they watched Tahi's expression change as she saw how easily the Thunderbolt had handled her brother's ships, how precise and controlled the human response had been. "You could have destroyed them," Tahi said slowly, "but you chose not to." "We defend, we don't destroy," Tajin replied. "Not unless we have to." "Now, shall we discuss this properly, or do you need another demonstration?" The massive alien ships powered down their weapons. Their threatening positions relaxed. On screen, Tahi's facial lights had changed to a soft blue. "Perhaps," she said, "we have much to learn from humans. You fight differently. You think differently." She paused. "You are not what we expected." "That's humanity's specialty," Tajin smiled. "We're never what anyone expects." The tension broke. What had started as a potential space battle had turned into something else. The moment when the Meridians realized that humanity wasn't just another primitive species to be conquered. They were something new, something different, and something very, very interesting. Science Officer Jin Woo Nam stood in the Thunderbolt's main conference room, studying the holographic displays of Meridian behavior patterns. After 3 hours of talks, he had noticed something fascinating about their new alien guests. "Look at this, Captain." Jin Woo pointed to the changing light patterns on the Meridian delegates' faces. Their emotions show in their lights. When they first came aboard, all their patterns were tight and fast. They were scared of us. Captain Tajin watched as the recording continued. And now? Now their patterns are slower, more relaxed. Jin Woo smiled. "They're not just accepting us. They're actually excited to learn from us." Around the conference table, human and Meridian officers sat together. Commander Tahi had come aboard with her top advisors. They couldn't stop staring at everything in the room, especially the simple metal coffee cups on the table. "You mean you heat the liquid in these?" one Meridian asked, holding up a cup. "No energy fields. No temperature controls. Sometimes the simple way is the best way," Commander Jai-1 explained. "Not everything needs to be high-tech." Tahi's facial lights flickered with curiosity. "This is what we failed to understand about humans. You keep both old and new technology. You use whatever works best." Minna, who had been quietly translating, added her own thoughts. "That's because humans learned the hard way. Our history taught us that backup systems save lives. Simple things can't be hacked or jammed." The Meridians shared looks of understanding. Their own ships relied completely on advanced technology. If their energy failed, they had nothing to fall back on. "We owe you an apology," Tahi said formally. "We thought your different approach to technology meant you were primitive. We were wrong. You are innovative in ways we never considered." Security Chief Junho, who had been watching the Meridians carefully, finally relaxed. "Your people have been watching Earth for a long time," he said, "but you never understood what you were seeing." "True," Tahi admitted. "We saw your cities with both old and new buildings, your ships with both simple and advanced weapons, your people using both digital and physical tools. We thought it meant you couldn't decide on a path forward. But now you understand?" Tajin asked. "Yes." Tahi's lights glowed warm colors. "Your variety is your strength. You keep what works, improve what doesn't, and aren't afraid to try new things." Jin Woo pulled up more data on the holographic display. Your society advances in straight lines, he explained. Ours branches out like a tree. Different, but both ways work. The meeting continued as both sides shared information. The Meridians were amazed by human history, especially how Earth's many cultures had contributed different ideas and approaches. Your way of fighting showed us the truth, Tahi said near the end of the meeting. You disabled our ships without destroying them. You showed strength and mercy at the same time. No other species has ever done that. Captain Tajin stood, and everyone else followed. Then let this be the start of something new, he said. A partnership between our peoples. We can learn from each other. Agreed. Tahi's lights sparkled with happiness. The Meridian Collective formally recognizes humanity as equals. We look forward to peaceful relations. As the meeting ended, Jin Woo updated his scientific logs. He wrote, "Today marks a historic moment. The Meridians came expecting primitives and found equals. They came looking for a fight and found friends. This is how humanity does things. We turn enemies into allies by showing them who we really are." The Thunderbolt's first contact mission had turned from conflict to cooperation. It wouldn't be the last time humanity surprised the galaxy with their unique approach to problems. 3 months after the first contact with the Meridians, the UES Thunderbolt looked different. The battleship still carried all its weapons, but now it also had new markings. Along its hull, both human and Meridian symbols showed its new role as a diplomatic vessel. Captain Tajin Park stood on the bridge, watching Earth grow smaller in the view screen. The Thunderbolt was heading out again, but this time as part of something bigger. Status report. He called out to his crew. All systems normal. Commander Jai-1 replied from her station. Our Meridian guests are settled in their quarters. They're still amazed we use actual beds instead of floating energy fields. Minna laughed at her communication station. They'll get used to it, just like they got used to eating real food instead of energy supplements. The crew had changed too. Along with the regular human crew, there were now 10 Meridian officers on board. They were there to learn about humans and to teach about their own people. Message from Earth Command. Minna announced. They're calling us the Bridge Builders now. Other alien species want to meet us too. The news of how one human battleship had handled 4 Meridian ships and then made peace had spread across the galaxy. Many alien races were curious about these humans who fought differently and thought differently. Captain Jin Woo called from his science station. The Meridian Academy just sent their latest report. They're studying everything about us. They especially like how we solve problems. Taijin smiled. The Meridians had been surprised by many things about humans. They couldn't believe that humans still used paper books alongside computers, or that they practiced fighting with both old and new weapons. Sir, Jun-Ho reported from security. The Meridian ships are in position. They're ready to escort us to the Galactic Council. Through the view screen, Ta-Jin could see 3 Meridian ships flying alongside the Thunderbolt. Their beautiful curved hulls now seemed familiar, almost friendly. Their lights glowed with peaceful blue patterns. You know, Du Yen said from her weapon station, I never thought our best weapon would be the way we think. She was right. The Meridians had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their guns or shields. It was their ability to adapt, to use both old and new ideas, and to turn enemies into friends. Message from Commander Tahi, Minna reported. She says other alien races are nervous about meeting us. They've heard about what happened and don't know what to expect. Tell her that's perfect, Ta-Jin replied. Let them be nervous. They'll learn the same thing the Meridians did. Humans are full of surprises. The Thunderbolt's engines hummed as it headed toward deep space. Its mission had changed from defending human space to exploring it. But it still carried all its weapons, all its defenses, and all its surprises. Captain's log. Ta-Jin recorded later in his quarters. The Thunderbolt started this mission as a warship, ready to fight. Now we're diplomats, ready to talk. But we keep our strength, just like we keep our old books and simple coffee cups. Because that's what humanity does. We keep what works. We learn from everyone, and we never stop growing. As the ship headed toward its next destination, the crew knew they were part of something important. They had shown the galaxy that humanity wasn't just another species to be conquered or ignored. They were different, unexpected, and innovative. The Thunderbolt had taught the aliens a lesson they wouldn't forget. Never judge humans by your own standards. They'll always surprise you. And somewhere in deep space, other alien races were waiting to learn that same lesson.